Evening. Buyer's remorse. Buy a new car? I'll be moving in. Let's get started.
Sorry, I think there's been a mistake. I bought it from Carvana.
You what?
Yeah, great price. I even have 7 days to love it or return it.
So there's no...
No buyer's remorse. More like buyer's rejoice.
I guess I'll let myself out. Congratulations. I mean it.
Buyer's rejoice. Buy your car today on Carvana.
Limitations and exclusions may apply. See our 7-day return policy at Carvana.com.
We're all locked in now.
Your home for the best sports radio in Utah is right here on the KSL Sports Zone. It's time to kick off your afternoon drive with Jake Scott and Ben Anderson.
Allow me to introduce the best of the best.
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jake Scott, Ben Anderson, thank you for making us a part of your day. No Ben Anderson today, so sitting in for the first hour, which you are very kind to do so. The one and only, the coach, Tim LaComb. My co-host for Jazz Pre-Half and Post, and of course co-host of Scotty G and the Coach every day from 10 to 2. You're very kind to stick around because I know you have a plane to catch.
Twist my arm. It's either that, drive out of the airport and sit there or hang out with a buddy.
Well, you are a Sky Club guy, I'm sure, so it's nice of you to,
you're
to
fine.
give that time to me.
I don't need all that time over there. So this is great, and I'm happy to help. Great to be with you.
The snack mix they do over there is pretty.
Love it.
Is pretty tasty.
Not gonna lie, I think my favorite's like the peculiar shaped one that always seems to work its way in, and I don't know how to explain it. I don't know what it is. In that mix, it's phenomenal.
I'm a terrible traveler. Anxiety.
I
I'm
do
just
the same.
awful. But here's the thing, though. You had to travel so much for your coaching career. I mean, traveling, on the move, flying, doing the whole thing. My father was that way, and he's recently retired. He traveled a lot for his career. He really misses it. Do you miss it?
I do not miss it. I was always fairly anxious, and it was an awful thing to be. And I don't know why. I mean, for me, once I got through, I think it's just breaking routine for me. Mm-hmm. I like routine. And so, I told my wife yesterday, I said, I used to do this 2 to 3 times a week. And I don't know, I can't remember the last time I got an airplane, honestly, for me, a couple of years anyway. So I'm excited to go see it. Once I get through security, You'll be
all right. It'll be good to go.
Yeah, that's typically where it starts to cut off.
And we're going to your old hometown.
Yeah, we are. We are actually a field that used to reside near me. That Frisco was just, as far as you could see, it was just field. And now they've built quite a city out there. I sound like an old guy. They've really done well.
You should hear me talk about the Wasatch Front. I remember when there was 3 distinct cities, Provo, Salt Lake, and Ogden.
Now
it's not.
No.
It was let me tell you about Bluffdale when the prison was the only thing out there. Now not even the prison is there.
Not
anymore.
even the prison's there. That's
gone.
fixing to blow up out there, though.
Well, yeah, because we've got a great community. Christian is here. How was your 250, Christian? Did you have a good time?
It was great. Yeah, went to a buddy's house. They had a pool set up in their backyard. Great day in the sun.
Did you grill it up?
He did. Yeah.
Oh, you surrendered the...
I'm not going to... Well, if it's at somebody's house, I'm not going to take over the grill, At my own house, yeah, don't touch my grill.
My wife was super, she wanted to grill on the 4th. She's like, what's more American than grilling? And it's like, okay. And we hung out with some people that came over. I felt a lot of pressure not to screw up. We did burgers and kind of some steaks.
Burgers are kind of tricky if you don't prep them.
And
right.
I just don't want to be...
That guy.
And I'm not going to ask somebody else to do it.
You're not going to surrender your spatula.
And, of course, the thermometer at the place we were at didn't work. So I had to eyeball it, which is never a good way to go. Although I feel like I'm going into Scotty G and the Coach territory here, talking about food preparation.
No. That was a previous show. We don't talk about it as much unless Bar WV's involved.
Well, I heard Scotty talking about getting after it for the company party.
Well, yeah, when he starts talking, though, I just sit back in my chair because I don't have a lot to add. I'm not well schooled in that area.
I think most people should have some sort of hobby. You have hobbies. Mm-hmm. Scotty's got 2 good ones. He's lawn guy, which is a good, productive, contribute to the household hobby. And then he's also a barbecue guy, which kind of accomplishes the same thing. But the fact that his hobby is now competing in those competitions, pretty rad.
Who knew?
Shout out to Scotty G, and he is good at it.
You know R&R barbecue, right? You've had that before.
Yeah.
That whole thing started, two guys in the mortgage crunch and couldn't pay their bills anymore and started a circuit. Two brothers.
Worked out all right.
Went out there and then developed the restaurant, sold it, and he lives in Cabo now.
Well, maybe Scotty ends up in Cabo someday.
He has the fair skin temperament for that. Can you imagine him all tanned out?
No.
Like, what's up, guys?
in a flowered shirt.
Sorry, Scotty, I know you're listening.
With some flip-flops. Yeah, I could see that for Scotty. He could pull that off.
Hey,
maybe
do you know where the luau is?
I've got a bucket hat that I like to wear.
Oh, I love a bucket.
Scotty would have a good bucket going on, hanging out in Mexico. Yeah, I could see that.
I appreciate a good bucket hat, and those that wear them, I always see one. It's like when buses pass each other.
Well, sun management
kind of give them a wink
is a thing. I have two very loud bucket hats, and you know why I wear them all the time now? Like I wore it to Disneyland because my kids can spot me. If you're in a crowd or whatever, and you get a little separate, I'm the easiest guy to spot. I'm the one in the big loud
and probably a tie-dye shirt, knowing you.
Yeah, easy.
That's my guy.
You know, that's so we hope everybody out there did have a happy 250 and celebrated accordingly. I didn't see if there were many firework fires.
There were a few. I saw Provo had a incident.
Have a flare up?
Yes.
How did the good folks at Murray do? Did they restrain themselves?
I did not feel like in Provo where I lived, I usually felt like I was under attack between July 4th and 24th.
Yeah,
it's just a free-for-all down there.
Well, you're right there by the, what do they call it? Stadium of Fire.
I'm by the Stadium of Fire. I'm by Rock Canyon Park. So there's just fireworks until all hours of the night, usually. And obviously this year I haven't been down there. But
this
Murray,
year was
a
little calmer?
I felt big fireworks from somewhere. You know,
Murray Park, I'm sure, had something.
But other than that, we just hunkered down and
made it happen.
Yeah, and after a certain hour, the fireworks stopped, which was great.
Christian has a newborn, and I just remember how angry I was at people when I had a newborn.
Just get them down and
and because in my neighborhood, fireworks haven't been allowed for a long time, and so I feel like I have I have the right to be grumpy. Were there many?
There was fireworks, but we have him sleep with the white noise machine,
which
that drowns everything out. So he has not woke up at all from the fireworks.
Those white noise machines are absolutely magic.
Yeah, and there was one night where we had him sleep in the other room, like to try it out, and we didn't have the white noise machine, and we couldn't sleep anymore because we got used to having that on. So
the baby's moved to another room now, huh?
We tried it out.
How'd it go?
Not quite ready to do that.
Oh, yeah,
my wife missed having him in the room. She was the one that wanted to bring him back. She's like, I think we should still have him in here. So not quite yet.
Not to dwell on this too much, but I have two kids. One was not in our room at all. From day one, came home, separate room. Second one was in our room for like the first 6 months of her life.
And is still?
No.
Oh, she's good now.
She's definitely good, but it was the worst. It was the worst sleeping 6 months of my life that I had. And I swear we woke her up tit was just not productive for anybody.
I was working with you at the time, and you would talk to me about often you'd get kicked in the face in the middle of the night, or, it was just cramped quarters.
The worst. Well, that was more when she was a toddler. But yeah, having kids is the best, especially when they stay in their own bed. It's nice, and it's across the hall.
Yes, absolutely. I was the worst. If my kid made one sound, I was in there. Are you okay?
Oh yeah, right.
My wife, yeah. The reason our kids didn't sleep well was fully my fault.
That was all you?
Yeah, I was the one saying, "Let's just keep them in the room for longer."
No, I was not that person. I was definitely not that. Get this kid out of my room.
What have we done? This is crap my lifestyle.
All right, Coach. Are people? Everybody's excited. We'll get to the World Cup and stuff, and it's controversial and all that. But everybody around here is so excited about the debut of Darryn Peterson. And I appreciate the qualifiers that you and Scotty talked about, because I do not like Summer League, and I don't think you can draw any sort of conclusions. But he was pretty great in his debut.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to choose, you'd probably choose them being good rather than being bad. But I mentioned I watched Wemby out there. The first 2 games he played a summer league, and we had heard this tidal wave, and everybody said this is going to be the guy. And his first 2 games, he had a hard time even staying on his feet. I mean, and this was against summer league competition. So a way I view this is and you know this better than me because you've been doing it longer, but this is a long process. Cody Williams, for the first time in 3 years, is starting to feel like he's got something, and that's 3 years that he's been at this. So while things come easier to Darryn, and I do believe his body is such that he's not going to have to get stronger to compete like some guys we've seen come in. And I think his offensive game is advanced enough to where you're not going to see him get backed into too many corners. Those are the things I take from it. Where he goes from here, though, again, that's all up to him. That's all up to how things fall. But, yeah, first debut, nothing more than that. He did what he said, he would do. It was truth in advertising.
I think that was my biggest takeaway is he had – summer league's kind of funny because you see different players treated differently, right?
Totally.
You see players not take it very seriously. You see the Rudy Rudiger types that are playing for their careers.
For their family name.
And frankly, the number 2 pick doesn't really need to take it all that seriously. They don't. And I've seen high draft picks not take Summer League all that seriously, even in their rookie year. But he played like he had something to prove because of all the chatter around his time in Kansas, and this was the first time that he had a chance to show, like, no, I'm really a guy that you should have taken me number 1. I should have been the number 1 pick. I'm the best player in this class, and this was his first opportunity to show it. And I don't think it proves that anybody's arrived, but it proved that he's motivated. I like that.
And from that, the part that I hate about Summer League, I saw an article this morning about somebody inside the Washington Wizards organization after the fact, after this game, reportedly said, man, we're starting to wonder if we got the right guy. Like that is the most ridiculous thing.
Well,
AJ hasn't even been able to play a game yet.
It's so unfair.
Can he play?
And we're going to see him play each other, right?
And he'll be great. I was impressed with Boozer. He played the other night, and tonight the Jazz will Darryn and Boozer will get to play tonight. So that will be a great opportunity right up here on the hill.
And why Kurt Helin was in town, and you got a chance to talk to him.
He was awesome, man.
He's really good.
He really knows it. I love how he's into the details and the history. Knows stuff like that's one thing I love about you is the way you've got a pedigree. When you've done this job, you can, like I'll never forget the Jaren Jackson trade because I was sitting here listening to it. And you just have such a wide swath. So it's nice to talk to people that don't just have a, current understanding of how the NBA works, but long term. And I feel like Kurt does that. You
know what's funny about writers is sometimes it's a bit of a roulette on if they have a personality or not.
Oh yeah,
because you can write articles, which is in itself a wonderful skill to be a good writer. But that does not mean that you're have a magnetic personality that you understand that you have to come on and be interesting and you can crack a joke once in a while. And Kurt Helin's he's got a personality, you know what I mean?
Oh, I love talking to him on the phone and then just getting him in here,
Where'd you tell him to go?
Of course. What do you think? Right here close.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he had never been. It was a Majerus favorite. I said, you ought to try it. He said, I'm not trying to get his physique. I said, well, cut yourself some slack today because it'll be worth it.
They are good. Rick did. He loved those.
Lived there. Like he would actually have them delivered during practice. And like somebody come running, and this is before Uber Eats. But he had somebody sequestered that would just run at a whim and get food. And they'd come in, knock on the door, and I'd get the food, and I'd have to find a place for him to eat it. I made the mistake the first time of walking into the gym with the food. That wasn't good.
No.
I was like, get that out of here.
Oh, really?
Because it was secret. He didn't want the players to know while they're shooting free throws. He was inhaling 2 of those.
You know what's funny when I hear you talk about Rick Majerus and you think of his behavior and lifestyle, you ever wonder what you would be like if you didn't have any rules? Like the rules of society just don't apply to you for some reason, and how would you behave?
like maybe take my Ford Explorer that's given to me and use the sidewalks on campus as a thoroughfare? You mean that?
Park on the grass.
Like that?
Like that?
Yeah, live in a hotel. I mean, it feels like he just didn't. The normal rules just didn't apply to that guy.
Didn't wear underwear most of the time.
He just did whatever he wanted.
It was just a thin layer of gabardine.
Didn't mind scratching on television, if that makes any sense.
No, dude.
Like the rules just didn't apply to that guy. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not going to mention who, but there was a really high level crop of recruits when Rick got here in the state of Utah. Okay.
Okay.
And so Rick goes around on his meet the coach tour, and I happen to be friends with a couple of the guys, and so I've gotten this report secondhand, but I trust it.
Uh-huh.
So it was quite a drive to one of these spots from Salt Lake. And so I guess he rings the doorbell, the door's open, they've got all this food for him and everything. And the first thing out of his mouth was, JC, that's a long drive down here. And then he walks into the front room and commences to throw his feet up on the coffee table, and he's just wearing shorts. So in the first 5 minutes, he's pretty much lost the crew, and they had to figure out how to get through the meal because they knew that's not where they were going to go.
This is not going to be.
Yeah, he didn't do much research on the local culture, and maybe some do's and don'ts.
Oh, that's funny. He did win a lot.
He won a lot, and he did it his way for sure.
He knew ball,
and he knew ball as good as anybody I've been around in my whole life. Like that guy, for me, that was almost a cheat code. I feel like I had a really great understanding of the game that was maybe different from other people in the way they approached it.
Well, the rest of the basketball world would agree with you that he was one of the best basketball minds. It was funny working with Britton for so long because wherever he'd go in the NBA universe, he'd have his coaches come up and talk, what was like playing for Majerus? Like when Britton played for Doc Rivers, because Doc, of course, knew Rick Majerus going back to his youth days.
Gave him the nickname.
And so everybody was always curious what it was like to play for Rick Majerus because he knew ball. And those U teams were incredibly disciplined and skilled. I mean, look who I'm telling. But, I mean, you got a front row seat for all of it.
Do you know that feeling of when you're a kid of coming up the stairs and you feel like somebody's chasing you? And you that's what working for Rick was like.
I bet.
All the time.
24/7.
24/7.
But I'm sure he did that on purpose.
Oh, he created an absolute culture of chaos. Just created it. And I think the purpose of it is, like he tell the guys all the time, I can prepare you. We're going to take all this time to prepare, but the game is chaos.
Well, you talk about players, what it was like to play for Urban Meyer. He had very similar tactics.
Guys were at the trash cans that first practice. I heard it was a beauty. But yeah, it's every single guy is going to approach it different. I think we're probably on the tail end of guys like Rick. They could push it that far and get away with it,
Well, if you want to bring it full circle, should we be surprised that Darryn Peterson and Bill Self allegedly didn't mesh all that well there at Kansas? Probably not.
Kind of similar old school tendencies, having guys go out there and kill themselves running a mile and Hell Week and all that. I think the game's a little more thoughtful. The guys are all working with trainers who have things mapped out for them. So for some of them, that's quite a departure from how they've trained in the past.
Imagine a guy in that toupee yelling at you to run.
I mean, I bet he was sweating.
I'd tell him no. I mean, I'm not doing that.
You can really tell is when a game gets tight and the sweat starts going. the lines are a little more evident. I love our secret. I love our little, the things we talk about.
Oh, man. All right. We'll have more coming up next. Coach LaComb's going to stick around for the next few segments. We're going to talk to PK a little bit later on in the show. We're going to talk to John Kurtz, who hosts a Big 12 podcast. Sarah Todd will be on the show at the top of the 3 o'clock hour. So we're very busy on a Jake and Ben show on a Monday, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.
Best thing that's ever happened to you financially. Go.
Easy. Sold my car on Carvana. Amazing offer.
Really? I hit 200 on the scratcher.
Did the scratcher come to your house and hand you a check?
No.
How many scratchers did you hit to get that? I hit a button on Carvana.com once.
Okay, that's fair.
It's like the lottery, except you always win.
Not like the lottery at all, actually.
Exactly. Inexplicably good. Offers worth bragging about. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
Down the biggest stories of the day. This is the top 3 stories of the day on KSLSports.com. 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Jacob Ben, 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone. Ben is out today. Coach LaComb, nice enough to stick around for an hour. Appreciate that. I did get a chance to see Ozzy once before he passed. I'm assuming you saw Ozzy probably more than once.
I never saw Ozzy, just Ozzy. But I did see Black Sabbath.
I did as well. It was Black Sabbath when they did the reunion tour.
Out here in Salt Lake. And did you see him in Salt Lake?
At American First. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I did too.
I was at that show.
That Sunday night. It was a Father's Day. It was on Father's Day.
Yeah.
I was there.
That was fun.
I was in a wig. Trying to blend in.
I was shocked how well he could still sing.
He was great.
They
were great. Like, that was, honestly, I've been to a million shows, but he brought it that night.
He didn't even move. Like, he just stood up there, but still wailed it out.
Do you remember the part? So, in the very beginning, they had those air raid sirens and stuff going, and they had a spotlight from the back, and you just saw him with his cape. I mean, it was so epic, man. It was, I'm glad I was there.
Time for the top 3 stories of the day at KSLSports.com. It's brought to you by J. Brooks Jewelers. Explore their expertly crafted engagement rings made from the finest materials. J. Brooks Jewelers. All right, Christian, where do you want to start today?
Number 1, Darryn Peterson impressed everybody in his Salt Lake Summer League debut. They're going to be taking on Cam Boozer and the Grizzlies tonight.
28 points, Coach. Efficient, 11 of 21 shooting, 4 of 7 from 3, 5 boards. He had 8 turnovers, which needs to button that up a little bit. But all in all, an extremely impressive debut for the Jazz rookie. Let me ask you this, Coach. I had my buddy Tony, who lives in Texas, is a huge Jazz fan, so he'll text me about opinions and that stuff. And he asked me what I thought about Peterson, and I said the Jazz have never had anyone like him. Would you agree with 100%. That take?
Yeah, I said that the night they drafted him. I think his athletic and everything else, like, he's the most complete guy they've drafted. A guy that he doesn't have to make any changes to his body. He's like a man's strength. But if you're talking about what I'm talking about, it's his ability to get to the paint at will, get to the rim at will. That is, as you know, a big-time commodity and something he possesses.
Well, combine that with a guy who can really shoot it. I mean, what a stroke.
What a stroke. I mean, his step back there, he made 2 shots in crunch time, but the step back to his left, I mean, seriously, I'll put his footwork up in that against anybody, and it's just year one. I talked to a bunch of people, and, one of the biggest things that NBA people, like execs and stuff, they hate overreactions, good or bad. I mean, the last couple of years, speaking of that game, you and I have watched Cody Williams just fight for his life.
Yep.
And all the way knowing he didn't have the toolkit he needed. I mean, he was just out there because that's the way it works. He's an older guy. If he waits another year of college, he probably misses a window. So he goes, and he's taking his lumps. But, man, was he great the other night. And it just speaks to some guys like Darryn. They have a lot of those things early. Cody has to work at them. It's why development is not linear.
No, and his stuff, he really needed to grow. Well, you just needed to get bigger.
Yeah.
And that seems to be headed in the right direction. And I thought Ace Bailey played well in his 20 minutes and, showed that, hey, maybe I'm a little above Summer League now.
Oh, Ace was great. And, I heard this summer, shared it on our show, but I'll share it with you guys. I was talking to somebody inside the organization, and they basically said been doing it forever, and they'd never seen a kid approach his rookie season with the level of willingness and humility that Ace did last year. And it's funny because you and I saw it. Like night one, I think we both had expectations this kid's going to come out and just fire bad shots up, and to the contrary, he was not stellar in his debut, but I remember us talking about the fact that he didn't go out there and force things that weren't there. So I think Ace's ability to read the room and then he's just working, dude. He's here in town. He's in that gym. He's in that weight room. And I do believe Ace is on the front end of what we saw with Keontae. He's going to have a leap.
He needs one. I mean, and I kind of wondered, the attention all last year was, how good could Ace be? And all this energy that is now going to Darryn Peterson was going to Ace Bailey last year. And I wonder how he reacts to kind of the shift in the narrative, if that really motivates him to take that next step that you're talking about.
I would bet there's a motivation for sure, but, I don't think there's any threat by it by any means. I think he sees it because they talk about it in the building a lot. They want to win a championship. And these guys are smart enough because they go out. One of the things they want to do is draft smarter guys that pass the, more so than just A to B. They want them to understand nuance of the game. And even it doesn't hurt to have that off the court either. But I think they have a bunch of talented guys that understand that this can't work if everybody gets exactly what they want. And so you've got to have the ability to be willing to sacrifice and give. And I think the Knicks just put that on full display for us. And I think that's what the Jazz are trying to do.
And then the Jazz did add a wing defender, Josh Okogie, who spent last year in Houston, agrees to a 2-year, $12 million deal with the Jazz. Any thoughts on his fit?
I've liked him as he's come through town. I think if you're talking about a guy that can really get after it on the defensive side, I think Josh can do that. I think certainly ability to shoot the basketball is important, especially if you're a defensive guy. To be able to do two things like that. And I do believe that he's at 36%, if I remember looking right. I'm not Mike Smith. It doesn't just go in there and lock, but I did look at it. And so shoots the ball well enough. And I just like as he's come through town with different teams, he's notable because of his effort.
And the Jazz can use a little bit of that to rub off on their young players, certainly.
Yeah.
And they need somebody who's going to go out there and stop. I kind of think that their last in the league defense these last couple of years was intentional, but they do need some guys who are going to set the defensive tone when the trying commences.
I think principles were taught defensively, but it's just hard to, to not have last year for particularly rim protection.
At all.
Yeah, no rim protection. This is something I read on Josh. It says Okogie's defensive impact is highlighted by his active hands ability to guard multiple positions, particularly regarded for creating turnovers and providing energy.
What's next?
Number 2, Big 12 Media Days begin tomorrow. Got the whole crew heading out to Frisco.
Yeah, PK is going to be out there. You and Scotty. I'm going to be out there, and we're going to have it covered for you top to bottom. Are there any storylines or anything you're curious about particularly, Coach?
I'm curious to see how the Sorsby thing, I think enough time has gone by, and I think the result was correct. But I'm just curious how much of that's going to linger.
I think a lot of it.
And questions asked about it.
Well, I think relationships at least changed. I don't know if you want to say damaged, but it was Texas Tech taking on the rest of the league. You guys had Brian Santiago on the day after that contentious call with the athletic directors happened. And Brian said all the right things. But if you kind of saw what sifted out through the media about what that call was really like, it was everybody taking on Texas Tech. And so I wonder, I actually thought Bert Yormark navigated that really well, considering it was such a touchy situation. And the best possible thing happened, and Sorsby just went away. That was the best possible outcome. But I'm curious if there's any fallout. How are those Texas Tech guys going to be strutting around? Is Cody Campbell going to be there? Because he was there last year. So all those things, those little subtle storylines are kind of what makes media days interesting. It's not just the interviews, but it's what everybody's talking about down there. Last year it was Texas Tech and their giant purse and
how they went and bought
team,
that defensive line.
Yeah, best team money can buy. I think Sorsby will be very present and at media days. But I'm curious. We can ask PK about this later in the show, but I'm curious to talk to the Utah guys about the change in coaching and how much of the culture is still the same and how much of the culture has changed.
Man, I'm getting a good vibe from just watching the guys are signing and the abundance of guys, particularly locally. they're winning real battles with recruiting. So certainly we understand the power of positivity in Morgan Scalley. I mean, I think that's who he is, but I think he's way more than that. I think he's a football coach, and he's a darn good one. And now he gets to prove move over a couple steps, wear a little bit louder whistle. I don't know what else you do in football, but you're in charge now. And so I'm excited to see him take this challenge on.
When Coach Witt initially took the job, and he talked about this, he was pretty open about it, but what he took from Coach Mack, and then what he took from Urban Meyer, and then of course he'll talk to you about what he took from his dad, and then how he molded that together for his own philosophy. I'm really curious to see what Morgan does similarly. I mean, how much does he keep from Witt? Morgan played for Urban Meyer, so how much has he taken from Urban Meyer, and how much does he put his own spin on it?
The one thing I can tell is seems to be more smiles. I mean, I think culturally, Witt is a guy who likes mystery and smoke and intrigue, and it works for him. But I think in terms of Morgan's, I think it's just more like there's just more feeling of openness up there. So I'm excited for him. I saw in a preseason poll, and I mentioned this on our show, BYU Utah all over the top 3 or 4 in most things I've looked at. So I'm excited to see how the predictions come out. LJ Martin was released today, I guess, as the Offensive Player of the Year. So I think that's the right choice. And I think BYU's trajectory took a different pitch knowing he's coming back.
All right, Christian, what's next?
Number 3, take that red card away. Team USA is going to be at full strength tonight against Belgium.
Balogun is...
How do you feel about it?
So
I
honestly have so many thoughts on it, which is so funny because it's the story that's dominating everything. But my first take is this is just yet another reason to get rid of replay.
Oh, gosh.
Because that's the excuse they're using, right? That they didn't use the VAR correctly, so that it was in slow motion or something, and so that's why they're
looked more egregious,
rescinding the red card or whatever. But we need to get back to where refs make terrible calls, and then we just all move on with our lives. Now we've got presidents that are getting involved and making phone calls and
I'd love to hear that
appeals,
one.
and I mean. You know what? I'm excited for Team USA. Good, they're going to be better on the field. I'm pulling for them. Go get them. But it's just so silly. You know what? We're so out for justice in the sports world. We'll just go to any length. And at what end? You know what? Your team gets screwed once in a while. Let's all move on with our lives. Dick Bavetta existed. Jazz fans have had to live with it, and they're okay. The sun came up tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the hard part about sport is, there's a lot of people at the games, and they're wearing different uniforms. And at the end of the night, there's only one of them, and maybe even that whole group, like half of them will be mad because certain guy didn't play as much as he should have or whatever. But most are there, and you can only make one of them happy. And I'm with you. It's the replays, the way we've gotten down to it. I don't mind baseballs because it's quick, and you are instantly basically putting that guy on notice that you were wrong. In basketball, typically we get that 2-minute report, which is about as worthless as my 5:30 flight that's now been delayed to 6:30.
Oh, lame.
So I'll maybe flying with you.
Well, I'm glad I'm not by you sticking around. You're not going to be running
I'll be in no
Home
rush.
Alone style through the airport.
I'll be in no rush. And honestly, I'm excited. I put it down to a mistake, administrative mistake, and I can live with that. It's not like they were trying to get the dude to play and he'd bet on football or football.
You said you'd want to hear the call between President Trump and the FIFA president. I would too, but I would more like to know how much the bribe was and how that was dealt with. Because that, with FIFA, I mean, you saw Sepp Blatter. Did you see his tweet where he's tweeting out basically saying that I'm sure it was a quid pro quo?
Hey.
I'm sure that FIFA got some very generous donations to the correct people.
What's the old saying? Everything's fair in love, war, and the World Cup.
Oh, yeah. I think it's funny how unabashed. They're just shameless. Just overturning a red card just for the heck of it. Why not?
Balaga, it's a whale, but it's also a soccer guy. He's very important to us. Would you like 250 mil? I have it left over.
We're sending a guy with a suitcase to the hotel. Just let's
tell me
make
the room number.
Let's make the announcement. All right. Good,
He's in.
Good times. The former U.S. head of U.S. soccer or whatever, the representative in FIFA, was so corrupt that he not only had a Manhattan apartment for himself, but he also had the adjoining apartment for his cats.
Who's this guy, Larry Scott?
Good one. All right, more next. Sarah Todd, top of the 3 o'clock hour. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Queen Carvania stood haloed by the morning sun. An army hung on her every word.
My champions, I have sold my chariot on Carvana. 'Twas a lovely SUV, an inexplicably queenly offer. They're even coming to the castle to collect it. Tonight, we feast!
An offer you can feast on. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson. Now, every day from 2 to 6 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jake Scott, Ben Anderson. No Ben today. Sarah Todd's going to be with us at the top of the 3 o'clock hour. Tim LaComb with us for one more segment. How did, for those of you that don't know, Tim's son, Sam, is a big Celtics fan.
Yes, he is.
How did he react to the Jaylen Brown trade?
You know what? He kind of understands how the NBA works. This one was interesting. I think the rub is that he went to the division foe.
Sixers?
I mean, come on. But I don't know that I've ever seen a trade made like that actually weakens the team intending to get stronger.
It does.
It was not a good deal for Boston.
No, I can't believe they gave him away for nothing. I don't think Brad Stevens knows what he's doing.
We had to have a goal. I just saw it with my own eyes.
Oh, how about that? España takes a 1-0 lead in the 91st minute over Lloyd's beloved Portuguese squad.
Have you ever had Spanish paella?
I know what it is, but I don't think I've ever had it.
I had a lot of it. We went to Madrid with the team, played over there, and I was good with it till they brought out one with a fish. And the eyeball, was still looking up at me, and I was like, I'm going to skip that one and go back to this other one.
You got to dive in, dude.
I didn't dive. No diving.
I went to a Chinese wedding, a wedding in Chinatown in New York, but it was they had a traditional Chinese. I can't even remember how many courses. It's like 20 courses or something bananas. Anyway, great wedding. We had a fantastic time, but after like the second or third course, I had to tell our server. I had to say, "Listen, just stop telling me what it is. I'm here to experience it. I'm going to eat it. I'm going to dive in. No problem. But you got to stop telling me what it is."
Because it was getting
in my head. You know what I mean? It was getting in my head. Just stop mentioning it. Anyway, we had a really good time.
I bet you did. You have a great time at most parties, I've found.
I don't know. That's kind of my MO. Certainly love weddings. I'm good at weddings. I'm wedding guy. Christian saw that firsthand.
Hey, where's the book? And the bar.
So anyway, Spain 1-0 lead. Okay, well, I was curious to his reaction to the Jaylen Brown deal. Maybe one of the worst trades ever.
That's kind of what he thought, and the fact that I don't know, man. Tatum's got a lot to prove now.
Absolutely, but the Sixers were going to have to pair assets to get off of Paul George's contract. He was a candidate for the old maid, the worst contract in the league that nobody could get off. Not only did Philly add Jaylen Brown, but they got off their headache. They got off their, and Jaylen's overpaid too. But I mean, you're going to get way more production out of him than you are playoff P. Are you kidding?
Yeah,
what a disaster.
Yes, it is a disaster, and I mean, part of it too. I've heard there's new ownership, and they're going to do things different. Okay. All right, good luck with that.
Because a bird in the hand is worth a ball in the carpet. My man,
believe that is true. I've heard that somewhere.
Having a top 10 player in the league Well, if you're going to move off of it, you better get something. I mean, the Jazz moved off of Donovan and Rudy, arguably two not top 10 players in the league, and you got to maximize that thing. That also tells me that Jaylen Brown or something about him was quite unpleasant. That they just we got to get this guy out of here.
Just get rid of him now. I mean, in all honesty, I think the Jazz got back more for Walker, right?
They did.
I mean,
absolutely. They did.
That was it wasn't, I guess, well orchestrated. Maybe the intentions were good, but not executed to a very good level.
We didn't talk about the Walker deal. I thought the Jazz actually executed that masterfully. To basically, instead of matching a deal for Walker Kessler at 39, they get that kind of compensation. Because they basically told the Lakers, like, we probably have a number and you can get him if you max him out. And then probably negotiate it down and say, you give us 2 firsts and 2 swaps and we'll come down to a reasonable spot for you.
I agree. I don't think, I think obviously overpaying at any spot is going to be detrimental to what the Jazz are trying to do. I believe Walker's a really good player. I really enjoyed watching his evolution the last couple of years. But I think what Walker wants right now is to be paid like a guy who's done it. And they think there are questions about his ability, especially coming off injury, to continually do that and then more, because that's what you're going to ask for somebody when you're paying them that much.
Tim, thank you for sticking around. Good luck on the flight leaving
Thank you.
At a reasonable time. I should probably check and see mine. I wonder what's going on.
I think this may have just been like a crew thing or something. Our flight is en route, and it was delayed, so it may just be that.
One of those normal kind of things?
Seen it a few times. Over 1 million miles on Delta and over 800 nights in a Marriott in my life.
And you were allowed to keep those points?
Yes.
Didn't a certain coach always protect the Marriott points like they were?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I found...
But that was earlier.
I had my ways.
Listen to you. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
All right, Tim will be live from Dallas with Scotty G coming up tomorrow. We have Sarah Todd from the Deseret News coming up next. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Evening. Buyer's remorse. Buy a new car? I'll be moving in. Let's get started.
Sorry, I think there's been a mistake. I bought it from Carvana.
You what?
Yeah, great price. I even have 7 days to love it or return it.
So there's no...
No buyer's remorse. More like buyer's rejoice.
I guess I'll let myself out. Congratulations. I mean it.
Buyer's rejoice. Buy your car today on Carvana.
Limitations and exclusions may apply. See our 7-day return policy at Carvana.com.